it's Isabel, A Curious Tale. Welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to do a little storytelling. So this video, it's going to be about my tarot deck, the Purnima Tarot, which I created with my husband BJ. It's an ode to the Kathmandu Valley, celebrating its diverse cultures and exploring the links between the material, the spiritual, the cultural, the artistic, and all the vibrant, amazing sights and experiences of Kathmandu and also Nepal. So the stories I want to tell today is just about a few of the cards and the images on them. So I wanted to do the Queens today because I love the Queens, I love the court cards, and just a random note that one of the real reasons I started to love the court cards and their meanings was reading the Mariel Tarot guidebook, because I think that description of the court cards is just, it really made things fall into place for me about what they bring to the reading and how to connect with them. So my queens, I'll just go through them in the order how I ordered the suits. So first we have the Queen of Vajra. So Vajra is the name I gave to the suit of swords, which is the element of air. So the Vajra is a ritual implement or instrument found in a lot of Hindu and Buddhist religious art and scriptures, and it has so many meanings, but it's often associated with the masculine element and this idea of the thunderbolt of truth cutting through deception and illuminating. So to me that just really resonated with the sort of cutting element of air, of realization. So that's why I named the suit Vajra. And the Queen of Vajra here is a detailed image, and it's a lock. And this, I just wanted to tell the short story of how I took this image. So Kathmandu also today includes Lalitpur, which was once its own kingdom. And in Lalitpur, Patan is a beautiful area, and it's a very historic Newa area. So Newa is an ethnic group and culture in Nepal, and you can just see beautiful temples, little streets, wonderful food. It's full of artists, it's full of just so much to see. I really recommend that place if you're visiting Kathmandu. It's a lovely area to stay in. And in Patan, I was visiting some family who's staying in an apartment, and a lot of the Newa houses are built in a kind of square, so they have a courtyard inside, and it's surrounded by several stories of buildings. And in that courtyard you'll often find like a small stupa or something in the middle. And I was just walking, and one day I saw a small wooden door, and it had this lock, and as you can see in the image, the lock has been blessed with some chamal, like uncooked rice, some powder, some flowers, and yeah, the meaning to me, I just loved that. I thought it was beautiful as a little detail that something commonplace like a lock is obviously being given a deeper meaning. And I just loved the symbolism of what's behind the door, this idea of knowledge and understanding that needs to be unlocked, and this idea of the Queen of Swords as an archetype that, among many things, she has a lot of knowledge, she's very clear in her understanding of things, and that to some people they might feel locked out of that. She isn't always someone that needs to make sure everyone feels comfortable and she doesn't need to bring herself down to a lower understanding. She is confident on her level, and that can inspire many people, but that can put off some people as well. And just that idea of boundaries, the idea of hidden knowledge, the idea of, you know, this is almost like a boundary that's being celebrated, and just all these things came to mind from this image. And yeah, I took the photo, and I believe that day we were going out for a family lunch in Patan. And whenever I'm there, I often, you know, peruse some of the jewellery shops as well, because there are some amazing workshops there. So you can actually go to places where people are beating metal, they're creating jewellery, and this is also in some beautiful historic buildings. So just as an example, like these bracelets I'm wearing today, I'm not sure if you can see them well, but they're traditional Nepalese bracelets, and I believe some of these I got in Patan, and my necklaces as well. I didn't get this in Patan, but it's also a traditional Nepalese piece, and this is less traditional, but it was made in Nepal, and the underside has this beautiful beaten metal design, and there's a lot of workshops where craftspeople will shape metal over these molds and beat it into really beautiful shapes. So that's just a short story about the Queen of Vajra. Just one moment. So next we're going to do the Queen of Lamps. So I chose lamps for the suit of wands, the fire element, because obviously lamps are lit and they have fire, but also in Nepal there's just lamps are an integral part of many religious spiritual practices, and you can see them everywhere. So here's my card for the Queen of Lamps, and it shows a table, and yeah, so we're in Bodha, another area of Kathmandu. Bodha is famous for its stupa, many like Buddhist monasteries, including Tibetan Buddhist monasteries. There is a big local like Tamang, another ethnic group population, and Tibetan population. Yeah, it's another wonderful area of the city. And this day, my husband, my mother-in-law, and I were in Bodha, and we were walking around the stupa, and it was the evening time. So a lot of the time there will be many people sitting around the kora, which is the ring around the stupa that you can circumambulate. There'll be people who do that as a religious practice, and there's also people who will do that just walking with friends and chatting. And there are many tables with butter lamps on them. And the idea is that you will light butter lamps, and you'll pay the people who have their table, you'll give them money for how many lamps you want to light. And then as you're lighting the lamps, you'll make wishes. So you could wish for, you know, health in your family, prosperity, or if there's a situation that you really want a certain outcome, you could wish for that. And then quite traditionally, the last one, you would then also wish for like the enlightenment of all beings, as well as whatever you're wishing for yourself. And again, it's often seen as a Tibetan Buddhist practice, but it's definitely not closed or just limited to that. It's something that many people take part in, whatever their culture is or religion. So it's very open there. And yeah, it's just a great way to light some lamps and think about maybe your family in other countries around you, just wishing for like beautiful things to happen for them. And I love this image of the hand of my mother-in-law lighting these lamps, and just this idea of the warmth of love and passion and lighting a fire. And yeah, just the Queen of Lamps, Queen of Wands, being someone who lights the fire for herself and for others. And yeah, just also my mother-in-law also fits into that archetype really well. You know, thinking of others and inspiring others as well. I think to me the suit of lamps or wands is very linked as well to inspiration, like creative inspiration, that sort of passion, drive, will that makes you want to create. She also creates a lot, and yeah, I just think that lighting of the fire, although in this photo it's more like making wishes for people, it can also be igniting that creative idea and getting things going. So that was that evening that we visited the Bodha Stupa in Kathmandu. Another place I would definitely recommend that you visit. I think it's probably one of the most famous places in Kathmandu, so I'm sure many people have already heard of it. I also used to study there many years ago. And the next is Queen of Bells. Bells is the suit of water, and cups. So I chose bells because where the Vajra often represents the male element, the bell often represents the female element, and then the suit of water is often linked to the feminine archetype. Again, this is like archetypes, not related to gender in the human sense, you know. So the Queen of Bells, this image, this is a photo I took visiting the temple of Dakshin Kali, which is located on the outskirts of the Kathmandu Valley. It's near Parping, which is a small town which has a lot of Buddhist monasteries in it. And Dakshin Kali temple is for Dakshin Kali. She is an emanation of the goddess Kali, and this temple is very special. It's sort of on a hill, so you can start at the bottom and walk all the way to the top. And this is an area where the river goes through the temple. And you can see in the water, there have been many stones stacked on top of each other, and there's lots of prayer flags, and just you can see the water rushing through the temple, surrounded by images not only of Kali but Dakshin Kali, other goddesses as well. And yeah, Dakshin Kali is a very special place to me, and also I wanted to bring that element with cups, the goddess, water, and show that. And yeah, that day it was funny, we visited Dakshin Kali, which around people say if you want to visit Dakshin Kali temple, not to say, oh, I'm going today, because if you say that and you don't go, it's very unlucky. So it's better just don't like say you've promised to go, just go. And yeah, like that day we visited all the family together. It was really wonderful. And then we were walking through the temple, and in the temple, the inner part where you can't take photos, there's a beautiful statue of the goddess and other like deities and protectors. And just so happened that the man who was taking care of the temple was my husband's cousin's cousin, and so we saw him and were really surprised because we didn't know he was there. So that was a wonderful, we just like, oh, one of our family members is working at the temple, that's very cool, we didn't know. So yeah, that was a fun anecdote from the day, and it was just a wonderful family day there, very special feeling. And yeah, we went later in the day. In the morning, many people go to make offerings. Many people do animal sacrifices at this temple, just of note, so you know that. That's quite common, but you don't have to. You can also just give offering of anything, like flowers. Some people will often offer coconuts, which I feel like it's quite fitting, because if you sort of cut open a coconut, it is quite violent. The coconut water sort of goes everywhere, so it gives you that sacrifice feeling, but just vegetarian. And yeah, so that's Dakshin Kali Mandir, Dakshin Kali Temple, a really interesting place, and definitely somewhere where the spirits of the land can really be felt. And I think wherever you are in the world, there are just certain places that you go and you just feel a very strong energy, and that is definitely one of the power centers of the Kathmandu Valley. And then finally we have the Queen of Mato, which Mato I named the suit the earth suit of coins, pentacles, because Mato means numerous things, but it can mean earth, soil, clay. A lot of houses in Nepal are built from this. There's Ratomato, red earth, which is a beautiful reddish clay you get in Nepal, and that can be used to create like traditional stoves on the floor of houses and many things. So it's very much related to housing, to security, the earth, and all those things. And this my Queen of Mato, I also took this photo at Dakshin Kali temple, but this is an image of the goddess Lakshmi seated on a lotus. And I felt that the goddess Lakshmi fits with this idea because she's very much about prosperity, abundance, wealth, which is sort of what we want from the suit, the earth suit of Mato, Pentacles, coins. And this, I took this photo when I was walking up the stairs from Dakshin Kali, and there were small images of all different goddesses going up the staircase, and this was one of them. And you can see, you know, on the floor there's again the chamal, the dried rice, and all different offerings that people have made, and it's just so beautiful to see the accumulation of everyone just showing their devotion and making offering and making wishes, because just showing that shared desire we all have for health, safety, abundance in our lives. And I think that's really beautiful. Lakshmi is also a goddess who is celebrated during Tiha in Nepal, which is similar to Diwali that a lot of people know about, which is in India, but it's similar. It's, you know, traditionally called like the Festival of Lights, and there's a day called Lakshmi Puja where people welcome the goddess Lakshmi into their home. Traditionally they may leave their doors unlocked, and they'll make a mandala on the floor outside and put footsteps of the goddess to welcome her into the home, all the way up to the top of the house, in the shrine room, the puja kota, where they will also have lit lamps. And the idea is like welcoming the goddess Lakshmi into their house to bring wealth, to bring abundance on that day. And then the houses will often be draped in these beautiful lights, and the whole city will just be glittering with lights, and mandalas made on the floor out of colourful powder, or some people make them out of dried pulses nowadays, because that's, you know, obviously sustainable. In centres you'll find these big mandalas, these big offerings, lamps have been lit, and yeah, it's just everyone welcoming in abundance, especially because that's before, you know, the winter will gradually start. So that's a time when you know, really want abundance in your life. So yeah, those are just a few quick stories about my queens. Let me know if you'd like to tell some stories about my other cards. And yeah, again, I have had to resize every image of this deck for the second edition, and I'm nearly done, so I apologize for, you know, these things always take longer. It's always the technology that gets me with these projects. But yeah, these things always take longer, but I'm getting on with it, I promise. So please do keep sending me your emails if you'd like to be notified when the second edition of the Purnima Tarot is available. And yeah, let me know what you think, and have you visited any of these places I mentioned? If so, I would love to hear about it, and I can't wait until I get to visit these places again too. I hope you're all having a wonderful day, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye!